welcome again from Austria. This is Günther Fellinger here speaking at the Austrian Parliament, here with my Ukrainian flag. It's the 26th of May and it's the day here when I will hold a speech at this Austrian-Ukrainian forum, which is taking place here in Vienna. And I would like to inform you now already ahead of it what I will say and how I will call for Austria to send 5,000 civilian trucks to Ukraine to provide the mobility and logistics. Me as a former military officer of the Austrian Reserve Army 35 years ago, but you know, it's very important to have the military logistics, and here we can really do something beyond neutrality. We have neutrality in Austria, unfortunately. We have to end this neutrality, there's no doubt about it, and I will call for that. We have to be united in NATO, in the European Union as equals with Ukraine. That will be my call. I will also call for Ukraine to adopt the euro and for all of us to be more united as an answer to the Russian war, and also for Ukraine to join CEFTA, the Central European Free Trade Agreement, the Regional Cooperation Council, to recognize Kosovo and to be also a very strong partner in the Southeastern European reform mechanisms, because we need them for the future when Russia will fall apart. We need this mechanism. Ukraine must endorse this mechanism, and also we need to have the success of Ukraine as a role model for many of the new independent countries of ex-Russia to come. That's of course not sure that Russia will fall apart, but after the defeat it's the most likely scenario. And that's why some in the West don't support Ukraine fully, because they think that this will be wrong. But we should not have such a terrible enemy on the east of Austria, of the European Union, and we should of course work in that direction. What I also will call today is Austrian NATO membership, to remove that Austrian neutrality, the Budapest Memorandum, the Kosovo 1244 and the Dayton Agreement of Bosnia. This is all the chunk of the European history, and I'm calling for solidarity inside NATO, the European Union, and all this ancient kind of leftovers of the Cold War security architecture which the Soviet Union has imposed on us. It must be removed and finally dumped to the junkyard of European history, security history, and same as Dayton and 1244, our compromises which we had with our friends from Serbia, where I call again for a revolution. I call for Serbomaidan, I call for Ukraine to support Serbomaidan, for the EU to isolate Serbia until Serbomaidan leads to a turn to the West. And it needs a revolution in Serbia, there's no doubt about it. Historically, from 1903 onwards, you know, they had these terrible Russian takeovers as they had in 2003, and now it's time for a pro-European revolution to liberate Serbia from this yoke of Moscow and to integrate all countries. To achieve that, we need Kosovo and Bosnia in NATO. I think that will be the shock which leads to revolution in Serbia, because Mr. Vucic has now Mr. Vulin sent the security boss of Serbia into Moscow, Mr. Dodik. We need also to end Dayton, which is a kind of a leverage for the friends from the Bosnian Serbs against the Western integration of Bosnia. This must also end. If they then secede, we must militarily confront and contain them. And that's what we will do. And I hope that all NATO will be united on that one. Yeah, I will also talk about economics, but economics in Ukraine, they are doing many things right. And after liberation, unification and victory, Ukraine will be a very successful contribution to the European internal market. Obviously, Ukraine should adopt the euro like Montenegro and Kosovo did it. Of course, Ukraine should join the customs union of the European Union like Turkey. Of course, Ukraine should be 2029 in the European Union and no day later. Of course, Ukraine should organize parliamentarian European Parliament election for observer MEPs 2024. And of course, Ukraine needs to organize presidential elections and parliament elections in 2024, even when there is the war still ongoing. We must win the debate institutionally, morally, and also institutionally, politically, Ukraine is a European democracy, a market economy, a very strong contribution for the future of the European continent. And that's exactly what Ukraine is and what Ukraine will be. And we in Austria should support Ukraine absolutely with trucks, and now and then later with tanks and with military equipment, with ammunition, with money. And this is all we need to do, we can do. And this is what I will say today. Thanks a lot here from the Austrian Parliament, and more to come on this beautiful day. And please, Slava Ukraine for victory and for support. And please support the integration, reconstruction, and of course it will cost something. I forgot that one in my spontaneous presentation here. The cost must be carried by Eurobonds, common European debt, as we have said it in the Corona crisis. Not 750 but 2,000 billion. This is absolutely needed, and we need to build the infrastructure towards the east, towards Mariupol, liberated Mariupol, highway, railway, all on European level. Everything in Eastern Europe we have not done in the last 20 years, from the infrastructure in Romania, Bulgaria, in Poland, in Estonia, in energy, in ports, in highways, in railways. All this must be done. And of course we must boycott Russia economically and end all energy imports. We must deliver Firtash, I forgot that one as well. We must confiscate the Russian energy interest and the Russian interest in Austria. We must also clean and purge our politics from Russian funded parties. Yes, I think that's most important. And also break with this tradition of 23 years of pro-Russian Austria by joining NATO, concluding a free trade agreement, ending the Gazprom treaty. And I think that's all I will say today. More you have to see the original, then it will be, I think, also in English, and it will be online on a separate video stream. I will try to record it as well, but that's more or less what I will say today. Thanks a lot here from the Austrian Parliament here on the 26th of May. Bye.